Hey, Bam here, and I love tech, so let's go ahead and talk tech today, and specifically the topic on the gap between smartphone cameras, whether it be pictures or videos, and professional grade DSLR video cameras and stuff like that. And the fact that that gap is shrinking, and it is shrinking fast. It has been shrinking fast for about, I would say, about the last several years or so. Not quite a decade, but I would say about 5 or so. And I personally, I see the pros and cons to both sides. I see the pros and I see the cons. One of the pros that I'm seeing right off the bat, and this is the biggest pro that I'm seeing, is that it's a good way for amateur photographers and videographers to really get their feet wet with the idea of just simply having a few small features added into their smartphones for recording or taking pictures or what have you. That, because the gap between smartphone cameras and DSLR cameras and video cameras is so small, but at the same time, with smartphone cameras, they range from beginner to intermediate level of features. I mean, even with like my LG G4. Right now, being 2017, it is not the latest flagship smartphone, but it was whenever I bought it. Definitely was top of the line whenever I bought it, and it is nearly DSLR quality. I can switch it to manual mode to adjust features like white balance and ISO, shutter speed, and all this stuff, and all that stuff's great. Unfortunately, it's only for taking pictures and not video. The LG G5 did that. They kept the manual features on video, but not the G4. It just wasn't ready yet, I guess. I don't know. But now, however, on the flip side of that, one con that I'm also going to point out is that one argument is that it tends to make a lot of people think that just because it gives the amateur or even the intermediate photographer or videographer, it kind of puts them in a gray light as to where, okay, you're learning this stuff and you're learning how it works, and you have it readily available at any given time because it's literally just in your pocket. So, yay for that. You're able to simply whip out your smartphone, start recording, or take a picture and adjust all these different things. And even with the different photo editing apps and everything like that, you can put a bunch of filters in it and whatnot. Great, because that means that you have readily available equipment to be able to play around with and learn how it works. Unfortunately, it also, the other side to that gray area is the idea that professionals don't really see that as professional grade equipment, even with the fact that it does have all these features and it can do all these things. I mean, I can look up a short movie on YouTube right now, and, well, rather, I can look up any genre of short movies on YouTube right now, and a lot of them, surprisingly enough, are actually shot on iPhones and Android smartphones and different things like that, because of the fact that not only are they easier to shoot with, or can be easier to shoot with, and of course it depends on what you're shooting. It also with the fact that you can get so many different attachments. I've got a full-blown camera rig. This camera right now that I'm shooting on, that I'm vlogging on right now, typically I use this for whenever I go out to a video gig, and I'm very well known for shooting DJ videos and nightclub videos. I've shot a few music videos here and there with it, and I've got this whole rig set up with my microphone and my light over here, and it's all on one rig. So, and in all honesty, if I were to find some sort of adaptation to replace this video camera with my smartphone, to make it work with my microphone and my light, well, rather specifically just my microphone, actually, I would probably equally, it would be equal comparing, because the fact that this is only HD, my LG G4 can shoot in 4K. Now, I understand the controversy of it's not real 4K, and to that I say maybe you have a point. I'm not really 100% sure, but I do definitely know for a fact that it is better than HD. It is higher resolution than HD quality. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this, is the idea that smartphone cameras and professional grade DSLR cameras, the idea that gap is shrinking so much and eventually it's not even going to, I don't see that I actually don't see that it would never matter. Because the fact that DSLR cameras are getting better now too. You can do 4K, 60 frames a second, and all this stuff like that, and even up to I think that the Red camera series shoots in 8K. I don't know of a single smartphone that shoots in 8K right now, and there's still a lot of stuff that you can't do with smartphone cameras that you can do with DSLR cameras, obviously. So the idea of smartphone cameras getting better and better and better, I personally think it's a great thing. I really think it's a good thing, because, and in all honesty, there's 3 different modes on my smartphone on the LG G4 that you can shoot between either auto, simple, or manual. I typically go for auto because of the fact that I simply like getting the most natural shot that I can, the most natural looking shot that I can, and just simply because I mostly take a bunch of scenery pictures, photos with my G4, and I typically like to leave it on auto, so that way I leave it up to the camera to get the most natural looking shots. And I don't really do that much with photo editing. I may, put in an effect or something like that, or doodle with it, but I don't typically mess with the internal settings of the camera on my smartphone. Now, there is, however, one thing that I do, one other thing that I do want to mention is that using your smartphone to record a live show. I personally hate that. I hate that with a passion, because of the fact that I don't care what kind of a smartphone you have. I don't care how much you paid for it. I don't even care what the specs are. No smartphone is going to be able to record any decent kind of audio quality, maybe visual quality, but doubtful, for a live concert. There's A, too many elements, and B, too many factors that go into it. I would much rather just have a professional team set up a bunch of GoPros on the stage, and then have a few live human videographers floating around in the audience, all linked up to a video switchboard, and then have the audio recorded separately, but it all goes to one hard drive, and then that's the video. Because in that way you can get a whole bunch of different other points of view and aspects and everything like that. You can strap the GoPros onto whatever you want to. But whenever someone's just standing in the audience with, recording it, the show with their smartphone, they're doing one of two things. They're either A, jumping up and down and yelling and screaming, so the video's going to turn out like shit anyway, as well as the audio, or B, they're standing still and not participating with the crowd, so you're not really having the fun. And on top of that, no matter what, you still can't really move around. Or if you do, you lose your spot and you wind up still making a shaky image. You wind up making a shaky video. And I don't care what kind of smartphone you have, it's not going to record good audio. The LG G5 does do V20. The LG V20. It supposedly does way better with audio. I don't know, I haven't tested it, but it has different features with the audio that you can adjust with it and everything like that. Okay, but you're still not going to get as good of audio as what you would with being hardwired into the band's microphones, or the DJ, or whoever. Whatever show you're going to, it simply does not matter. And personally, I don't think it should. Something like that, I would definitely want professional grade equipment with a professional team that knows what they're doing, has been doing it for years, and just be able to sit back and relax and enjoy the show. You can't do that if you're recording the whole thing, or you're either not enjoying it and recording it as best as you can, or you are enjoying the concert, so your video is going to suck anyway. I can't tell you the number of videos that I looked up from my favorite bands on YouTube, and it says blah blah band live in concert, and it's someone's smartphone recording. And especially if you're an idiot and doing it this way. I've never seen a video or a TV on a shelf that records that shows a show in portrait. It always goes in landscape. Anyway, it was kind of a rant, but I just wanted to put that out there. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you have some different thoughts, other points that I didn't go over. Agree, disagree, like, dislike. Definitely make sure to share this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.